Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking tonight about follow up and follow through. But first, we're going to go back and take a look at what we've done already. In just a second, I'll do this. There's our. All right. So we've already talked about this. Don't you love this picture? Just for those of you who have been to the Elton Awards before, anybody know what the Eltons are? Unmute yourself and say yes.
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 All right, somebody help me out and tell us what the Eltons are so they know on the recording.
It's an amazing party.
Okay, thank you. It is a party. It's an invite-only party that the company does once a year when we are meeting live for conferences. Usually it's always been in the fall. So in the fall, our conference is twice a year, but in the fall, it'll be in St. Louis. And even if the whole company doesn't get together in St. Louis, we will. But at one of the Eltons recently, I think it might have been the last one or the one before that, they actually had girls that did the yoga trapeze stuff. And one girl actually was in a ring hanging from the ceiling, shooting a bow and arrow like that and hitting the target. So when I found that picture, I had to use it. So AIM, that's what we've done. We've talked about so far. What's the main things we do? What's the core activity we do to get started to make $500 a month? Is first we ask. You heard Brenda talk about how now she's had to back up a little bit and start to meet people in areas where she has people that like the same thing she does or interested in the same thing. So she's had to ask, and that's what we did. Our homework the first week, or the second week technically, was to go connect and reach out to 100 people or even 50 people. And I don't know how many of you did that. Anybody want to speak up? Talk to us about if they did that.
I did it.
Unmute yourself and talk.
I did do that.
Okay. Mary Evans, how, I'm trying to see if I can get a picture in here. I don't know why it's not doing that. Speaker. So Mary, how many people did you reach out to, would you say?
I reached out to about 52 people because I say it was for sure 50, but as I was sitting there, I did what you did tonight just before. I just reached out to a couple more right at the tail end that I realized, oh no, those are in my text and I didn't get to them because I was focusing more on my messenger.
Right.
But I'm sorry, go ahead.
How did people react to you just reaching out to them? You're not inviting them yet. You're just reaching out to see how they're doing, what they're up to.
That type of reaching out, they were happy to hear from me. And when I just reached out to see how, they were all very receptive and seemed to be happy that I was getting a hold of them.
Awesome. Anybody else have an experience you want to share with reaching out? Just asking people, hey, how you doing? I was thinking about you. Anybody?
I didn't get 50, but I still have about 5 or 6 people, and we're still talking back and forth.
Yeah.
So, and one of them, I've been wanting to connect with her for a while, and so it's great that she, that it's a way just to connect, just to ask how you're doing.
Doesn't it feel better?
Yeah.
I know it feels better to me too, that you start the process and you get people talking. And yeah, some people will keep talking. And then last week we talked about the invitation process. So now you could invite them into hear about the product. You could invite them in to hear about the product. You could invite them in to hear about the company. You could invite them to hear about how to get started in the business, or you could invite them in to hear your story and meet with you. So those were the invitations you could make. And of course, they could be a video, they could be an event, where they actually show up and sit next to you. It could be a Zoom call. It could be that you send them something in the mail. So you've got a lot of ways to, and a lot of things, venues, if you will, to invite people into even today. So the homework then last week for this last week was to invite 50 to 100 people. So how'd y'all do with that? Talk to me about your invitations. You started by asking and then you moved into inviting. How did that work out? You know what? I'm going to stop the share and let you all look at each other because I think it works better that way. It works better for me. So what did you all think about the invitation process? Somebody talk.
Mary, I'll talk.
Okay.
I like, last week I did a lot of inviting for the athletes Zoom that we, a targeted call that we had. And I like having a reason specifically to reach out to someone that I may not invite to something else that's more general, you know, and you can, so I talk to people that I know that are coaches, people that I know that are parents of athletes, people that are athletes themselves. So when you have a reason to reach out, it makes the reach out easier, I think. So that was my experience last week.
Yes, and I just want to give Allison props because she taught me that. I didn't want to do targeted events. Why can't people just listen to the doctor or the nurse or somebody talk about Juice Plus? But really, I found out I was wrong and that people do like those targeted events. It gives them an even more of a purpose to invite. So Allison, you want to share with us what we've got going on this month in terms of
Oh yeah, I'm very excited. So Monday night, next Monday, a week from tonight, we'll have a pregnancy Zoom. So anyone you know that is pregnant, anyone that you know that is trying to become pregnant, or anyone with young children in their childbearing years who may become pregnant again, those would be great people to invite in. And then we will do a Zoom regarding the Shred 10, which is our lifestyle program. And we also have a Zoom on gut health, which is a pretty hot topic right now. People want to know about gut health. So we will have a specific Zoom on that. So anyone maybe whose children struggle in school, anybody who has brain fog, anybody who has digestive issues, those might be somebody in the, you know, on the flyers, we kind of try to give you a little bit of insight on who might be a good fit for that. So those are the ones that we'll be doing this month.
Excellent. Anybody else have any experience that they want to share this last week with invites?
Before that, Mary, I just want to say amen. Thank you, Allison. I love the targeted events also because it also jogs my memory of people. And it's easy for me to say I thought of you because of how it is. So I really like inviting to those events.
Yes, me too. Now I do. I didn't at first, but now I do. I felt like it made my world smaller, but really you could ask anybody. I mean, probably about half the world is women, and we probably all know somebody who's had a baby, even if we haven't, or has, you know, especially been through several stages of life like I am. You probably know several stages of people that might be interested in hearing that. So yeah, it's a cool thing. How about you, Vicki? What was your inviting experience this week?
I invited for the athlete event because I have, I know a lot of coaches and people who have kiddos in sports, and you guys did you guys rocked it. It was a great event. And then I also so appreciate that they're recorded, because being in California, 5:30 is a hard time. So part of my follow-up is really, if they weren't able to be on, to invite them to the Facebook page, to share the link, etc. So that's what I did.
Excellent. Anybody else have any inviting experience before we move on to the next thing that we're going to do this week? Well, I still have my list here, and I got through, I didn't get 100 invitations made, but I probably got about half that many. So I got work to do this week for sure. And I have a salad party on Sunday. I better know what day it is on Sunday. So I'll be busy doing that. And we're also going to be having a women's networking event in March, maybe 2 of them. So I've got those to invite for. And then can somebody tell me what's happening in April that's really big that we can invite for? What, Vicki?
It's our conference, the
Yeah.
16th and 17th.
That's right. So Friday and Saturday, Thursday night will be an event, then Friday and Saturday. So stay tuned. If you live by me, come on, you're coming over. So we'll figure that out. But that's another thing you can invite for. And typically we do our business from conference to conference. So think about where you want to be by April, the middle of April. So this business month, we got 5 weeks this month. Well, not quite all that many days, 5 times 7, not 35 days, but 5 Mondays for sure. So lots of opportunities to invite to events. Okay, so let's go back to did you like my girl with the bow and arrow, for Pete's sakes? And I couldn't see your faces, so I'm like, I can't believe somebody can, and I wouldn't have believed the picture, except I actually saw somebody hang over my head and do that in a ring. What makes somebody want to do that? I have no idea. All right, let's talk about what we're up to here. So we've asked and we've invited. I know now you can't see me, but I really do want you to raise your hand if you think you could be more of an expert now about asking and inviting. You feel like it's easy and fun. So here's the inviting. So I want to go into some detail. I didn't do this last week, but now you're getting it this week. And it comes from the GoPro book, which I'll show you before we close up shop today. But the question is, that would save the world. If I did this, would you do that? So if I sent you a video, would you watch it? If I invited you to come to my house for a salad party, do you think you could make it? If I would you, it's a total bartering tool, like I said, that could cause world peace. So if I would you. And then when they say yes, if I sent you a video with some docs on it, talk about fruits and vegetables and juice plus, it's 11 minutes long, would you watch it? And they say yes. Then the next question is, when do you think you could watch it? When do you think you could watch it? And they tell you, and you repeat back to them, so you think you can watch it tonight. So I'm confirming the time they've set at 7 or so tonight for sure. It's okay to ask them for sure. When do you think you could watch it? What time do you think you could watch it? And then based on the fact that you're going to watch it tonight, it's 11 minutes. How about let's follow up tomorrow at the same time we're talking today? Will that work for you? And they say so now you've gotten them to confirm 3 times. So you're going to watch it tonight. I'm going to call you tomorrow because I want to know, write this down, what you like the best. Not what you think, but what you like the best. Thank them and say goodbye. So if I sent you a video, would you watch it? When do you think you could watch it? For sure. Confirm the time, schedule a follow-up, thank them, and say goodnight. The key is, this is not an appointment you have set. It is an appointment they have set. You've confirmed it 3 times with them. This is super important. Anybody want to have a comment here? I'll stop the share for a minute. Anybody know if it works better when you get the time than when you don't get the time? Somebody want to speak into that?
Yes, definitely. Because then they have to stop and think about their own calendar. And when we went to this kind of GoPro language of asking them, if I would you, and then you can't just stop that there. If you get the yes, you have to say, fantastic, I'm so excited to hear what you like best. How soon do you think you can watch it? Because if you don't follow through and go ahead and get that that time, then the odds that they're going to actually watch it, and they may have every good intention of watching it, but life happens, their cat gets ran over, whatever, they forget about it, and then all of a sudden they don't ever get around to it. So it's so important to have that time and then to solidify it, because the odds that they're going to get around to watching it goes up to like 80%, which is
I was
before it's like
hoping you
20.
would speak up, Karen. You teach this better than I do. It's awesome. So yes, it's very exciting when you can get a hold of somebody and they've watched your video like they said they would, and it makes them successful, and it makes you successful, and everybody feels good, and you're not chasing them, and you don't feel like you're trying to sell them Juice Plus because you got to chase them down, even though they said they were going to watch the video. So now you've got an agreement. Anything else
Yeah.
you need to add, Karen?
Yeah, nobody wants to feel that way. But when you're like, I can't wait to hear, what your favorite part is, it really makes it about them, and that we're generally interested in them. And as we're learning with Ditch the Pitch, people want to be able to share their thoughts and opinions and things with us. So we really want to make sure that we direct it that direction, even when we follow up and things, whether they watched it or not. You just do it. If they haven't watched it, oh, I get it, life is so busy, totally okay, but I can't wait to hear what you connect with in this video. How soon do you think you can watch it? And you just ask again, because you care, because you want to know.
Right. Just think about that long line of people that are waiting to hear from you. Somebody's in there that's going to watch this and need it. So Karen, I'm going to ask you to role play with me in a minute, since you're just on it tonight. Hold on a second. Let's go back and get to the next screen. So remember, the key is, this is not an appointment you have set. It is an appointment they have set. So you both mark your calendars, and now we do the follow-up message. And you do it because it's what you said you would do. And the only reason to have an exposure is to set up a next exposure. We call this a series of educational and relational exposures with Juice Plus. It takes an average of 4 to 6 exposures for a person to join you with a product, to join you with a business. And if you condense the exposures, you get better results. So what happened for me was, when I finally sat down and watched the video, which I didn't want to watch, and I got excited then, which was a miracle, I couldn't get enough. And so the hairdresser, Michelle Finley, brought me 13 cassette tapes, and I wore them out, because there was no place like that where healthcare professionals talked about what would help me. So just like Karen said, I wanted to know, I was in it for me. I wanted to know what would help me. And all these audio cassette tapes, you guys even know what they are, they help me. So Karen, let's pretend that I invited you to watch Bridge to the Gap, and you watched it. So I'm calling at a time that we confirmed 3 times for you to pick up, and you actually did watch it. So I want you to go back to when you first heard about Juice Plus, and I don't know, what did you watch first? Do you remember?
The Gap.
Okay, so let's do that one. I'm going to pretend I am, who called you?
Patty.
Patty. I'm going to pretend I'm Patty. Do you want to do this instead of me? I'll really put you on the spot. Where's Patty at?
She's right there on my screen.
On my screen, that's Vicky, y'all. Where's Patty?
No thanks. Go for it, Mary.
Okay. All right. So Karen, hey Karen, it's Mary. Is this a good time? Still a good time for you?
Yeah, this is good.
Okay, because yesterday we decided, it was going to be a good time. And so I'm excited. Did you get a chance to watch my video? I say my video, y'all, because just like Brenda Macrino says, my Facebook group, my video. Did you get a chance to watch my video, Karen?
I did.
So Karen, what was your absolute favorite part about the video?
The fact that it's not a vitamin, it's actual food, that just blows me away.
Okay, so yeah, that got my attention too, because I took a zillion vitamins. So do you take a lot of vitamins, Karen, you and your family?
You know that I've been giving the kids all kinds of Flintstones vitamins trying to get us healthier.
Karen, oh, I'm so glad you watched the video. So you think you're going to keep giving them the Flintstones?
No, I think we should try this.
Okay. Well, that went quick.
Sorry, that's about how it went with Patty because I trusted Patty so much.
Yeah.
And that's why relationships are really key.
Yeah, well, that's why I went straight for it. I mean, that's probably what I would do with somebody I sort of knew. I'd say, so you're going to keep doing the Flintstones or what are you going to do now? So I would probably ask that question even if they weren't my sister-in-law.
If I didn't know them very well, I probably would have said, should we do both? Or do we need to stop the other to start one? I would have asked more questions.
Yeah, I think that's a better option. You know, I guess I've just been doing this for 20 years and I don't beat around the bush. But yes, you could say, so what do you think? Do vitamins still make sense for you? Where's Terry Schultz at?
What do you got to lose?
Yeah, so Terry's telling me, tell everybody what you said when I asked you.
I said I already take $300 worth of vitamins a month.
And I said, what's
how's that working for you?
Yeah. And then what's another $50?
Yeah.
Because I had already done what she'd done. We already knew that we'd been to the same doctors and we had the same answers and they weren't really answers. We had more questions than answers. And so that's what I said to Terry. I don't really remember saying that. So apparently I've been sassy for a while. So anybody else wanna workshop anything? So Karen, so did you realize that we have a children's health study with this option with this Juice Plus? So your kids can actually eat it for free.
Well, yes, I know because Doug's parents are already sponsoring them.
Yeah, I was smart.
Our situation was a little unique.
Back door. I like it. The back door angle. So Patty came in the back door. So what made you then? So you saw the difference between vitamins and it. Well, you should have done this, Patty, not me. So tell us why you did it that way. Talk to us.
Well, then Patty knew that Doug and I had started taking the kids' chewables and we were starting to notice things.
That's so what did you notice? So I'm asking you now. So let's pretend we're back in the thing. So now you're taking your kids' chewables. Yippee. So they have less, Karen, just so you know. So
I know.
So what kinds of things did you notice?
More energy and mental clarity. And that's why we decided maybe we better get on ourselves.
I see. So energy and mental clarity are priorities for you.
Well, and regularity. Those were the three things within like the first couple of weeks for us.
So now when she says that, that's when I would probably weave in my story. So I wouldn't tell her all I would just say, those are some of the similar things I've noticed, Karen. I started taking Juice Plus. We'll pretend this is happening today. 20 years ago, after I had a health crisis, but unlike you, I didn't wait till I was just mentally foggy. I waited till I couldn't get out of bed. And so that was the moment when I heard that fruits and vegetables could reduce your risk of chronic illness, and I had one, I was all over it. So my kids got on the children's health study too. So Karen's trying to do two things at once. So bully for you, Karen, because you decided way farther ahead in the journey than I did. So I'm excited for you. So I know about her kids already. We'll pretend we already had that conversation before when I invited her. So anything else you want to add, Karen, to this conversation, this pretend conversation that would help people?
Not to the pretend conversation. I don't think so. Ours is kind of a unique situation.
That's all right. It happens. I love it. Good job, Patty. All right.
I knew how to get her.
Yeah.
I did.
Free stuff. She knows free stuff.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, let's keep going here. We're almost on my last slide. Aren't y'all proud of me? I didn't have it mess up this time. So it's doing what you said you would do, like you're really caring about them. And I think Karen said this earlier, that you keep following up because you said you would and because you care. The only reason you're not calling them to get the order, you're calling them to offer another exposure. And Patty did it perfectly. She got the parents, the grandparents on, the kids on for free. And so she just stair-stepped everything till Karen and Doug were not just on Juice Plus, but she stair-stepped them enough and put enough messages in front of them that Karen is a successful partner now. And it takes 4 to 6 exposures for a person to join. Karen, how many exposures did it take for you?
3.
3. And then how many to get to be a partner?
Oh, that was 3 to, I did it at the same time. I started the product and the business at the same time. So it was 3 to say yes to both for us.
And why did you become a partner, Karen?
So that we could offset the investment in our health.
Thank you for saying it that way. And yes, that is the majority of people that start is for that reason. They don't think they're a network marketing professional or a business professional, or they don't even think about getting to the top of the company. They just want to offset the costs, and then they want to cover the investment, and then you can start to show them step by step. So it's a reason to set up a next exposure always. And 4 to 6 to get to join. I tell people 4 to 6 to not just to join, but to take your Juice Plus on vacation, because you've got a customer when they'll take it on vacation. And then maybe as many as 8 to 10 to have a raving fan customer and a partner. So what kind of exposures did you have after that, Karen? Did you do some events?
Well, first was Bridging the Gap, and then Patty did a web walk with me. We haven't done those in a long time. And then she got me to a live event.
Okay.
And it was at the live event that we made the decision.
So interesting. So interesting. And so how long before you went to a conference?
That was in April. It was like right around conference. I wasn't at that one. It was the very next conference in October.
Okay. So it took you about another 5 or so months to go to conference. So excellent. And condensing the exposures, would you amen that?
Yes, because people will forget what they have learned. So it's really important when they watch something and you're following up with them and you're hearing what their favorite part is, that you roll right into that next exposure, because the more information you get them in the shorter amount of time, then they're just like, oh man, like this makes so much sense. They don't forget why they were excited, and they have to get re-excited again at the next exposure.
Yeah, they get out of line and get back in line. And our friend Eric Worre, here's the book, Go Pro. It's got 7 skills in it. I just shared a few with you. How to be a network marketing professional and honestly not lose your friends. And he says success loves speed. Success loves speed. So a sense of urgency. All right, let's do I think I just have one more slide. So the fortune, as they say, is in the follow-up. And there's what follow-up could look like. Can you even imagine that many people could eat Juice Plus just because you told your story to some people? Can you even imagine that? That's how it works, though. It is. So let me stop the recording. Do you all have